All right, yo, what's going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So if you guys don't know, basically, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of old school. If you guys don't know, basically, I grew up watching The Hub. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm not gonna say because it's probably not for your age. But anyways, basically, what I'm saying is that we never had this thing called OnlyFans. So if you guys don't know what that is, basically, OnlyFans is just this thing that I'm actually not allowed to say because YouTube monetization. So yay, not gonna get into that. But you guys can kind of guess what it is if you guys are part of this generation. Anyways, me finding out about OnlyFans was one of the most weirdest things ever in the world. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it was the weirdest experience, and I'm gonna be saying it today. So it all starts off back in high school. So I want to say this was probably my grade 11 year. I had no idea what OnlyFans was. I thought it was literally just this thing that YouTubers had to express their fan base. Like, I thought it was like some kind of membership program in some way, which is kind of weird because only girls used it at the time. But I never understood what it was until one day I remember a friend of mine came up to me saying he had a girlfriend. So if you guys don't know, basically, I remember my friend walking up to me saying how he had like a brand new girlfriend and she was outstanding and she was amazing. She was just a great person in general. And I'm not gonna lie, I did recognize his girlfriend at the time and I thought she was attractive as well. Like, she was a win-win scenario. But the weirdest thing about this girl is that this girl was loaded. And by loaded, I mean, like, every time my friend came up to us, he literally said like how they went for a really big fancy dinner and stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, being at the age of 16 and getting fancy dinners and stuff was the most weirdest thing possible. It got to the point where we started making fun of him for having basically a sugar mama. If you guys don't know what that is, I'm not gonna get into that. So yeah, so we started making fun of him and basically just saying funny things to him until we realized something very odd. I remember me and my friends were all just chilling in the hallway, you know, hanging out, doing our own little thing, you know, talking about, I think, a game that was coming out. I wasn't sure what, to be honest, because I wasn't really fully paying attention until I saw his girlfriend walk up to him. His girlfriend walked up to him holding a giant box that was like wrapped in a fancy gift, and it wasn't his birthday, nothing. So we thought, oh, okay, here's some more sugar mama stuff coming in. And instantly when he opened it, we saw it was a brand new PlayStation, and it wasn't like a normal PlayStation. Like, this was like some like Destiny 2 super exclusive PlayStation that I always wanted. Like, it was so cool. So I remember asking him like, yo, like how'd you get this? Like, that's awesome. And all she said was that she knew a guy, which, you know, I guess was never good. But honestly, I remember me and my friends were all looking at each other and we just saw our friend super excited about getting his brand new cool exclusive PlayStation, and we're all just sitting there like, what the heck is going on? So then me and my friends were talking as he was like, you know, holding his PlayStation. We're like, so what does like your girlfriend exactly do for work? Because at first, I'm not gonna lie, we thought it was like, you know, her parents making the loads of money, but her parents were just basic teachers, which is really, really weird. Because I'm gonna be honest, teachers, I don't think make that much money. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. And I remember him saying, oh, like she has like some kind of like internet job. Like, I'm not really sure, to be honest, bro. Now that's where things got really iffy, because I know the internet, okay? And unless you're like doing some hardcore dealing, like there's no way you're making that much money to like be putting up PlayStations. And in my head, I was thinking, oh, maybe she has like a YouTube channel or something. I don't know. Like maybe she records videos for a living too. But then me and my friends really started questioning and thinking, what the heck does she do? So I remember one time we were all sitting in like math class and we were just like kind of like having a conversation, us, me and the boys, and we were thinking about following this girl. Now, as weird as enough, I would never advise doing this. Don't ever stalk women. It's not a thing to do. I don't advise it. I did it a couple of times in my lifetime and it's weird. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So me and my friends decided to, you know, kind of follow her and see what's going on. And we didn't tell this to my friend that was dating her because, you know, that would be really weird. So I remember we had like this group chat basically having a conversation what's going on. So one day after school, I remember we all got in our cars and we kind of like not followed the girl, but we kind of like, yeah, okay, no, I'm not gonna lie, we literally did follow the girl. I can't even lie to you guys. So we followed her and we realized that all she did was stay home, and we were literally like parked like 2 blocks away from her place, sitting there for like hours on end and nothing was happening. But then I realized, like, my friend called me. He's like, yo, like, what are you guys doing today? Let's all hang out. And this was the guy that was dating the girl, and we were all like really awkward looking around each other. We're like, nothing, we're just hanging out doing stuff. Yeah, I don't know, it was a weird situation. But anyways, I remember we all like decided to just pack up our things and go home, and we're like, screw it, like, we're not doing this again. This was a dumb idea. Like, why are we following a chick that maybe just makes bucket loads just from doing some internet YouTube thing? So like I said before, our first guess was like she did something on the internet. I want to say like a week went by after that whole situation, and we kind of just left it aside until we realized that she like promoted something on her Instagram, and it was a thing called OnlyFans. And at this time, remember, my buddy and his girlfriend were having like kind of like issues. They didn't break up or anything, but they were having issues at the time. So clearly it was none of my business to really like say anything. But I remember his girlfriend was like promoting this thing called OnlyFans. Now, like, again, I said I had no idea what it was or what it is in general. But then I realized like my friend came up to me and he said, yo, like something's really off with my girlfriend. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, she's hiding something from me and I know it. Can you go talk to her, please? Like, I'm confused. And I'm like, okay, like, sure. Like, you know what? Like, fine. I'll go talk to her because she's hot and like, you know, I like might as well go say something to her. So I remember I walked up to her and I'm like, hey, so I heard like you and, you know, my friend were having some issues. Like, is everything all right between you guys? How's the relationship? And then she said, oh, he doesn't like what I do for work. And in my head, I'm thinking, wait, why would he have a problem with that? Because you literally gave this man a brand new console and you're telling me that he doesn't like what you do for work and you can afford giving him what? Like, it didn't make any sense whatsoever in my mindset. And I asked her, so like, what do you do? She said, oh, like, I like post photos on the internet and people pay them. Now in my mind, I was thinking, damn, that's a sick job. Like, I want people to pay for my photos. Like, you're like a model basically. And I remember saying to her, oh, so you're like basically a supermodel. And then she said, kinda, yeah, we could say that. Instantly when she said that, I instantly had like some really iffy moments. Like, I had that sick feeling in my stomach. Like, wait a minute, like, does she like do stuff on the hub? Like, that's what I was thinking. I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is a weird situation. And then I asked her like, yo, can you give me an example of what you do? Now this is where things got really awkward because she instantly pulled out her phone. She literally showed me a photo of her on her, like, you know, OnlyFans. And you guys know what those photos are like. Let's just say she was literally naked in the photo. And she literally said, oh, like, this is what I do. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. Whoa. What? So you're basically like a star, like a naked star? Like, is that what I'm saying here? She instantly started laughing and saying like, no, like, I just do this for like work and stuff. Like, people like pay for my photos. Like, let's just say my mind didn't register at the time. Cause I'm gonna be honest, it was like something I literally just learned and it just came out of the blue. So I remember walking back up to my friend, I'm like, bro, like, honestly, if you're not comfortable with what she does, then I guess just end things with her. Like, that's probably the best thing to do. And he started like looking down all sad and everything. He's like, yeah, you're right. Like, I'm not comfortable with it, bro. Like, I can't handle it. And he left. And then instantly, like, after that situation happened, she started hitting me up. And I'm gonna be honest, like, it's not like I have no problem with girls doing OnlyFans whatsoever, but it's just not my type of thing. Like, I don't know, it's something weird about me. I'm probably old school like that. But anyways, yeah, basically guys, that's how I figured out like what OnlyFans was and all that. It was the most weirdest situation. I'm gonna be honest, it was a funny story. Yeah, honestly, like I said again, guys, like, I'm not promoting anything when it comes to these storylines with, you know, doing the devil's tango or doing any sort of online nudity or anything like that. Guys, I try to be as PG as possible throughout my videos. So guys, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching this amazing banger, and thank you guys so much for all the love and support on these videos. They're going insane recently, and like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. I remember my friend ran up to me with his phone and he said, yo bro, I found it. Wait, what'd you find? And when I looked at his phone, I saw he literally had photos of our teacher on a crazy website. And I am not joking, right behind us, out of nowhere, our teacher walks up to us and said, oh, so I see you boys found it. We need to talk. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another insane story. Now this story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 11 year. Now in grade 11, I'm not gonna lie, I took many different types of courses, and I think at this time I was going into my third high school because the last two I got expelled from, which that'll be a story for another time. But I am not joking, this high school I went to was the most bizarre thing ever. Not only because the students were weird, but also the teachers. And I remember there was one day where I walked into the school and I went into one of my classes, and all of a sudden the old lady teacher that we usually had ended up not being there. Obviously I found this weird, but everyone in the classroom just found it normal because, well, I guess they just didn't care about the teachers, which to be fair, I don't. But when another teacher walked in, this girl was insane. And by insane, I mean she was very attractive and a really nice looking teacher. But the thing about her was that she was really weird, because when she walked in front of the classroom, she came up to us and said, all right, students, I'm gonna be taking over for your teacher for a bit. She is put on leave for a while. She's not feeling so well, so I'm gonna be taking over. And also my eyes are up here. When we said that, we all looked around to figure out what she was talking about. But I'm not gonna lie, this teacher was really full of herself. And by full of herself, I mean she would always have ways to boost her ego throughout the entire class. Like I remember one day out of nowhere, she would walk in front of the classroom and show us her new stilettos. I guess it's like a form of high heel that she was wearing. And she'd be like, you see class, when you work really hard and grind out your work, you literally get the finer things in life. And that is what we're gonna learn today. Like, what? We're in biology. Like, what are you talking about? Honestly, I will say this. She was one of the most weirdest teachers and full of an ego. And when I thought things couldn't get worse, they did. Because I remember one day I was walking through the cafeteria in my high school. And when I sat down beside a friend of mine that I made when I first got to the school. Now, when I sat down with him, me and him were just talking about like classes and stuff. And then he brought up, yo, Bubba, is it true that you have like a new teacher that's like apparently like a 10 out of 10? I mean, yeah, she's attractive, but I don't know about 10 out of 10. Like, she's still my teacher, bro. No, I get that, bro. I'm just curious because like everyone's talking about it. Wait, what do you mean? And then out of nowhere, I remember this teacher ended up walking down the hallway to get to her car. And my friend looked at her and started to stare at her as if she was a piece of candy. Like, he would keep staring at her and it got so awkward. And then he turned over to me and said, Bubba, who is that? That's the teacher. Why? Bro, I swear I recognize her. What? You recognize her? Yeah, I swear I saw her on like some website. I don't remember what though. Ratemyteacher.com maybe? No, not like a teacher website, like an actual like website. You know what I'm talking about? At this moment, I started like shaking my head no because I had no idea what he was talking about. But later on, I started to realize that this guy knew this teacher from different places. A couple days went by and I remember the whole school started talking about this teacher. Like, all the guys were simping for her. All the girls hated her. Like, this teacher was literally the talk of the school. And I remember I really just didn't understand why, and I didn't get it because she had such a massive ego and she was so weird. Until I remember that same friend that I talked to earlier about the teacher ended up running up to me. He ran up to me and said, yo, Bubba, did you see the teacher's new car? What, my teacher? Yeah, dude, you know what she's driving? No, I never saw it. What is she driving? Dude, you gotta follow me. Me and him, we ended up going to the front of the school where the teachers usually park, and we ended up seeing the nicest pink Lamborghini we've ever seen. Like, I am not joking. It was like the nicest Lamborghini ever and the most expensive car to ever go on the parking lot. Like, I thought my car was cool back when I was in high school, but this was a different level. Like, not many people have Lamborghinis these days, so to think that a teacher would have one didn't make sense. At this point, I remember I looked at my friend and I told him, bro, does teaching really pay that much? Dude, I don't know, but she's rich, bro, if she has that. Well, yeah, obviously, but there's no way she got this from being a teacher. At this point, the entire school would not stop talking about this teacher's Lamborghini. And I remember during class that day when I was taking her class, the principal ended up walking into the classroom saying, excuse me, ma'am, can I talk to you for a second outside? Me? Yeah, we need to talk outside. And right away, we ended up hearing the Lamborghini turn on, like the engine. And apparently the principal made it so that she was not allowed to bring the Lamborghini to her school anymore since it was too much of a distraction for us students. Which, to be fair, in my opinion, I feel like that would be motivational. Like, if a teacher pulled up with a Lamborghini, like, wouldn't that inspire you to be better maybe? I don't know. I found it insane and I realized that things were really, well, interesting. But I remember like half an hour later, the teacher ended up coming back right before class ended and she said to us, all right, sorry class, I had to go put my car back home. I had to take a cab back. I live pretty far, but it's all good. Hope you guys got your assignments ready. I'll see you guys tomorrow. At this moment, everyone started to leave the class, and right as I walk into the hallway, I remember my friend ends up running up to me. Like, he is sprinting up to me so quickly and he said to me, Bubba, bro, I figured it out. I know how this teacher's making money. Wait, what do you mean? He ends up pulling out his phone, and what we saw on there, well, I can't really say because, well, monetization reasons, but you guys can kind of picture it. There was a website of a bunch of photos of her that weren't really appropriate. I remember my friend ended up just scrolling through the photos right in front of me and no one else was around us during this time. But then out of nowhere, I ended up feeling a hand touching my shoulder and my friend's shoulder. And when I looked over behind me, I saw that it was literally the teacher that we were staring at on the phone. We both looked at her and were like, oh, hi, ma'am. What's going on? Baba, we need to talk in my classroom right now. Like, right now? Yeah, we need to talk in the classroom right now. At this point, I was like really worried and stressed out, and so was my friend. But me and him, we ended up going into her classroom and we sat down on the desk, and she basically ended up writing something on the board, and she ended up telling us, okay, listen, I understand what you guys saw today, but I'm gonna be honest with you. You guys need to keep hush hush about it. You understand? Wait, why do you want to keep this a secret? Because I'm still a teacher, silly. Obviously, I don't want my students staring at me in that way. At this moment, me and my friend just looked at each other, really confused on what this teacher was yapping about. But then she basically made us promise that we weren't going to say anything, and if we didn't say anything, she would give us an A for the class. So obviously, since that was a pretty good deal, and honestly, I hated biology back when I was in high school, we both decided to basically keep this quiet until I want to say a week later. Because I remember 1 week later, apparently, someone found the teacher driving her Lamborghini when she was like out and about just on the road, and someone took a picture of the at that was behind it, and well, it kind of got leaked throughout the entire school, and she got fired. Yeah, she literally got fired from her school, but hey, I'm not gonna lie, I still got my A, so I'm not complaining. Honestly, she can do what she wants. She had a massive ego, and honestly, I don't see why she would want to be a teacher still if she's making that much money off that website. You know what I'm saying? anything. I don't know. If you guys had a teacher that did, you know, that, then in my opinion, just fall for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys. Okay, bro, there is literally no way this is actually happening. But at the same time, knowing this has happened to me is honestly really sad. But if you haven't already, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it seriously means a lot. And also, if you guys do enjoy the stories so much, make sure you guys join me live on Kick. I'll be streaming on there, and also I'll be doing a lot of crazy stuff with me and my friends. So make sure you guys go on there as well if you want to hear stories basically live in front of you guys on kick.com/Bubba. Other than that, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another, well, honestly, kind of depressing story. Now, I have nothing against OnlyFans girls. I get it. OnlyFans is a big thing that many girls are getting into. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If I was a girl, I'd maybe get into it. I don't know. It really would depend on my morals and who I really want to be. But I guess the easy way out nowadays in this generation for people, or especially girls, to make money is OnlyFans. And I'm not gonna lie. I knew about OnlyFans, and I remember after I graduated high school, a lot of girls in my school that I graduated with have an OnlyFans. Actually, one of them I think is hanging out with Young Gravy nowadays. Like, honestly, it's actually mind-blowing. But I remember back when I was in high school, a lot of girls that were in my school all really didn't like the idea of OnlyFans. Like, it got to the point where they were so against it, they made a trait and a promise to themselves that they would never start one. And they would also make jokes about if they started one, how silly it would be. Like, for example, they would say things like, oh, like, if I started one, like, I don't think my body's worth $13.99. Oh my goodness, literally, like, who would sell themselves like that? I might as well be a prostitute. They would say crazy things like that, and honestly, it made me think that, you know, maybe a lot of people weren't gonna get into it. But it wasn't until after high school where things really, well, flipped. I remember it was my second year of being out of high school, and I was turning 20. And I had a lot of friends that I still kind of hung out with in high school, well, somewhat, I would say. Around this time, I was so focused on making videos and stories that I didn't really focus on, well, people IRL. But basically, I remember one time, though, I was on Instagram, and my Instagram started, you know, gaining followers because of these crazy stories I would post. And actually, funny enough, if you guys haven't followed my Instagram already, I highly advise you guys go do it because a lot of updates go on there. But sorry, going on like I was saying though, I remember basically what ended up happening was I ended up getting a new follower on Instagram, except it wasn't no ordinary follower. Not that any of you guys are ordinary followers, but this certain person that followed me was honestly insane because this was literally one of the hottest girls in our high school that always, and I mean always, made fun of OnlyFans. Like, she would always, like, despite them, make fun of them, and basically said that if you're an OnlyFans person, you were literally worth nothing. So me, I remember I ended up going on her Instagram page and everything seemed normal. There wasn't any, you know, crazy bikini photos. There wasn't anything over the top. It seemed very, well, simple. So I remember what ended up happening was I ended up basically, you know, going into her DMs, you know, Bubba sliding into the DMs like usual. And I said, hey, when I messaged her, I remember she was actually in shock. She was actually amazed that, you know, a celebrity, I'm putting that in quotations because I don't think I'm a celebrity in any way, but basically she was amazed that I reached out to her and basically said hey to her, which I mean, fair enough. You know, if, you know, like what kind of person wouldn't DM the hottest girl in their high school? Oh, wait, literally everyone would. I don't know why she was so surprised about me DMing her, but basically when I said hey, she ended up messaging me back saying, oh my goodness, like, Bubba, like, how are you doing? Do you remember me from high school? Yeah, I remember you. Of course I remember you. She was the hottest girl in our high school, but I wasn't gonna tell her that. And then I remember she ended up telling me, oh, like, here, like, add my number. And then she ended up literally instantly sending me her number, and me and her started FaceTiming each other. We were FaceTiming left and right, day after day, to the point where, I'm not gonna lie, I actually started falling for this girl. She was actually kind of amazing, and knowing she was the hottest girl in my high school, it was kind of a flex to be talking to her. Because remember, back in high school, yes, I did a lot of the Devil's Tango, but I would never actually, you know, how do I put this? Be managing to pull the hottest girls in our high school. And by the way, if my voice sounds in any way really raspy, I just want to say that I'm losing my voice from yelling all the time on stream on Kick, so please excuse it. But anyways, going on with the story, I remember me and her, we started, like, you know, communicating a lot more than I expected. And it got to the point where actually me and her, we actually went out on a couple dates. But every time we'd go out on a date, I remember every time I asked her, like, what she did for work, she would never really give me a straight answer. She would always say things like, oh, like, I kind of just make content. Oh, you know, I, like, model, I guess. And she always sounded really vague about what she was actually doing with her career. So then I remember I asked her, oh, like, are you, like, taking a, you know, nursing course? Because I remember back in high school, she would always talk about being a nurse, or at least that's what her parents wanted her to be, I guess. But basically she ended up telling me afterwards, oh, like, no, I'm like doing my own, like, kind of like self-employed kind of thing. At this point, I was confused. I didn't know what she was doing, nor was she ever explaining. And before anyone says anything, no, I did not know she had an OnlyFans at this time, because to be honest, she would really keep it vague with me. And also every time I would ask her about, like, you know, work, she would never give me a straight answer, like I said earlier. So for me, like, every time I would go see her, hang out with her, she would always just be packing a load of money. And no, also, I'm gonna mention this as well, none of her OnlyFans links or nothing like that was ever posted on her Instagram. So me being the dumb guy I kind of just ignored it. And I want to say like later in the month, me and her, we were actually debating on getting together. But later in the month, I remember one time, me and her, I decided to take her to like my friend group and basically all my IRL friends. And I remember me and them, we all like hung out together at a house party that we all went to. And when we went there, I remember when I brought this girl with me, everyone, and I mean everyone at the party was looking. I had no idea why, and don't get me wrong, she was the most hottest girl there, but still, I had no idea why everyone was just staring her down. Until I remember halfway through the party, we were all drinking and stuff, and my buddy said, yo, like, Bubba, can you come over here real quick? I ended up walking up to him saying, yeah, like, what's going on, dude? Me being kind of tipsy. And then he ended up saying, yo, bro, I just gotta ask, how'd you pull her? I remember I looked at him and I'm like, you mean my girl? What do you mean? Like, how did I pull her? And then he ended up saying, oh, like, do you like usually work with like OnlyFans girls? Wait, what is what I said? At that point, I was confused. I thought he was probably trolling me. And also, like I said, I was a little tipsy. So I was hoping this was all like a joke or something. But then afterwards, I remember it was super awkward because he ended up saying afterwards, nah, dude, like, you know who that girl is, right? Like, bro, like, you're literally dating like the girl. And then he ended up saying a stage name that I'm not going to say because I don't want to give her clout in any way. But he ended up saying a stage name that was really, well, sparkly. I'll say that much. I remember I was super confused and just like kind of curious of what he was talking about until he ended up pulling up Reddit. And well, let's just say every piece of that girl's body was on Reddit. Now at this point, I'm like, holy cow. And the weirdest part was that as me and her were talking, there was a lot of videos posted from that like time when me and her started talking, right? And all of them were like, you know, BBC, all this stuff that was, well, let's just say a lot of the Devil's Tango. And like, don't get me wrong, I do a lot of the Devil's Tango. But seeing a girl get ran through like Mia Khalifa was just mind-boggling to me. So I remember after seeing that and me also being a little tipsy, I was really grossed out. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like ashamed of myself. I wish I knew. I wish I didn't put it aside from my brain and just actually focused on the situation when I had the chance to ask her. So me being the tipsy guy I ended up walking up to her in the middle of the party saying, you have an OnlyFans. She looked at me and she's like, okay, wait, who told you? And then that's when like 3 other guys ended up clapping and basically laughing because they all knew it was true. And it got to the point where everyone just started pulling up her photos at the party and she ended up running out of there embarrassed. I remember I felt bad, so I remember I went out of the party and actually left and basically just decided to sit beside her and talk to her. I told her, hey, listen, I get it, you know, I really like you as a person, but me personally, I could never date an OnlyFans girl. And then she asked me why and stuff, and I said, well, because I personally don't want my girls valued by a number. She kind of took it to heart, but at the same time, she understood because back in high school, she even mentioned herself the same exact things. But hey, what can I say? I guess people change for, I guess, the better, the worst. I don't know. At the end of the day, content is content. A job's a job. I don't know. I guess for everyone, it's different. But anyways, guys, that's basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also join me live on Kick streaming right now. Anyways, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.